To start using Qlik Sense, create an app and give it a name. Once you've created your app, you can add data. In this example, we are using an Excel worksheet as our data source. You can easily start adding data from this sheet by dragging and dropping it into your app. To upload your data to your app, click Add Data. In Qlik Sense, data can also be imported by specifying a file location. Browse to where the file you want to import is stored and select it. Once a second data table has been added, you can associate the tables. There is a recommended association, and you can click Apply to associate these tables. Next, add more data to your app. Select the Cities worksheet and then click Add Data. Next, add the salesrep.csv file. For this file, we are going to select the option Embedded Field Names from the drop-down list. Repeat the same process for the item master file. Once your data has been added, you can associate your tables. Check that the associations recommended by Qlik Sense work for your data, and then click Apply All. Load the data into your app. Now you can start creating sheets. Here's the first sheet that we are going to create. It has a filter pane for period, a filter pane for region, a pie chart showing sales per region, a KPI showing total sales and profit margin, a gauge chart showing the profit margin, a bar chart that shows the top 5 customers, a line chart that shows the sales for quarter and year, and a combo chart that shows the sales trend over time. To start creating your first sheet, add a filter pane, which you can use to control what data is shown in the visualizations on a sheet. In this filter pane, we are going to add the fields year, quarter, month, and week as dimensions. Then, in the Properties panel, you can modify the dimension titles. Add another filter pane for the Region field. To do this, you just have to drag and drop the dimension region into the sheet while holding the Shift key. Next, you can add a pie chart. Select Region as the pie chart's dimension, and the sum of sales as the measure. Then, in the Appearance section, select the Presentation tab and choose Donut. Set colors to Custom, and select By Measure in the list. Add the title Sales per Region. Since we are going to repeatedly use the sum of sales as a measure, we are going to add it as a master measure. This way, we can reuse it later on in other visualizations. Now, drag and drop the master measure and Qlik Sense will automatically generate a KPI. If you also add the customer field, Qlik Sense automatically creates the recommended visualization for these fields, changing the KPI to a bar chart. To modify the appearance of the bar chart, turn off Assistance and select the horizontal presentation. Then select the Data tab and in Limitation, select Fixed Number. Change the number to 5, so the bar chart only displays the top 5 customers. Clear the selection Show Others. Then in the Appearance section, select Y-axis and select Labels Only. Do the same for the X-axis. Finally, add the title Top 5 Customers. Resize and reposition the chart, and then add another chart, in this example, a combo chart. In the Fields list, select Date as the dimension. Then add the Sales Master Measure as a bar. Next, create a master measure to calculate the margin percent. Name the measure, and then drag and drop it onto the combo chart. Add this measure as a line. In the Appearance section, set the range to Custom. Finally, give this visualization a title, such as Sales Trend. From your master measures, drag and drop the sales measure into the sheet. This will automatically create a KPI. Next, turn off assistance so you can modify the KPI appearance. In the Color section, set conditional colors to On and click Add Limit. Click the left segment of the value bar, select the color red, and select the arrow down symbol. Click the right segment, select the color green, and the arrow up symbol. Drag the value limit slider to the right to display the sales value as red in the KPI. Next, create a master measure for the margin. Then add this measure to the KPI. Set the color of the second measure as you did for the first one. This time, drag the value limit slider to the left to display the margin value as green in the KPI. In the Presentation tab, select Left in the Alignment dropdown. Next, enable Show Title and add the title Total Sales and Margin. Now drag a gauge chart onto the sheet. Add the margin % master measure as the measure. In the Number Formatting drop-down list, select Number. In Presentation, set a minimum and a maximum value for the chart's range limits. Select the bar presentation and then select Use Segments. Then add a limit. In this example, we enter 0.12, which sets the limit between the left and right segment to 12%. Then define colors for the left and right segments. And then select the option to display only the label. Finally, add a title to the gauge chart, such as Profit Margin. Next, add a line chart to the sheet. Add the field Quarter as a dimension, and add the master measure Sales as the measure. Next, from Fields, add the Year field as a dimension. Update the label fields for the dimensions. Add Quarterly Trend as the title, and select Show Data Points. In addition to dimensions and measures, visualizations can also be saved as master items, so they can be reused in other sheets in your app. In this example, you can save the filter panes that you've created to use in the next sheet. Before you create your second sheet, give the one you just created a title, such as Sales Dashboard. The second sheet you are going to create contains the two filter panes, one for date and one for region, a bar chart that shows sales and margins for product group, and a product tree map. Now you can start creating the second sheet. Give this sheet a title, such as Product Details. Drag and drop the master visualizations that you have saved previously into the sheet. Now you can add a bar chart to your sheet. Add the product group as a dimension and sales as a measure. Add as a second measure this master measure that you have created previously. Next, in the Presentation tab, under Value Labels, select Auto. Next, create a dynamic title for this visualization. In this example, add Total Sales, followed by a formula that calculates the sum of sales. When you click on Apply, you can see that the title now includes the total sales result. Now from the field list, drag and drop the field Product Type into the sheet, and then drag and drop the field Product Group on top of it. Then add the master measure Sales. Qlik Sense automatically creates a tree map visualization. Turn off assistance so you can change the visualization. Change the color of the visualization by choosing to color it by measure. Finally, add a title to your visualization. Now you can start creating your third sheet. The third sheet will be populated with two filter panes, one for date and one for manager, a scatter plot that displays customer sales and quantity, and a customer KPI. First, add your date filter pane master visualization. Then drag the manager field into the sheet while holding Shift to add it as a filter pane. Next, add a scatter plot that uses the customer field as the dimension and the sales master measure as the first measure. Next, create a master measure that calculates the sum of the sales quantity field. Name the measure. When complete, add the new master measure to the scatter plot. In the Appearance section, in the Y-axis tab, set Range to Custom and exclude the negative part of the axes. Then give the visualization a title such as Customer Sales and Quantity. From Fields, drag the Customer field into the sheet. Next, from Master Items, drag onto the Customer field the following measures: sales, quantity, and margin %. Then create a new master measure that counts the distinct number of invoices from the invoice number field. Name the measure. And then add it to the visualization. Next, create another master measure that calculates the average sales per invoice. Name the measure, and then add it to the visualization. In the table, turn off Assistance and then select the Data tab. Select Sales and then choose Money from the Number Formatting dropdown. Select Quantity, choose Number from the Number Formatting dropdown, and then select a number format. Do the same for Margin %, but this time select the 12% format. Next, format Average Sales per Invoice as Money. Add a title to this table. Now convert the visualization into a pivot table. And then click on Add Data to add product group to the pivot table. In the fourth sheet, we are going to add filter panes for region, city, and customer, and then we are going to add a map that highlights the sales for cities. First, create your fourth sheet and give it the title Customer Location. Next, add the Region filter pane. Then add another filter pane and add the field City as the dimension. Add another filter pane for the Customer field. Now add a map in the visualization. Select the Layers section, click Add Layer, and select a point layer. As the dimension, add City. Then, in the Size and Shape tab, add the sales measure. This sizes the points according to the sum of each city's sales. Then increase the bubble size range using the slider. In Colors, select to color by measure, and then select the measure Sales. Your points will then be colored according to their sales value. Exit from Edit mode. Now you can start analyzing your data. For example, you could filter the data displayed in your visualizations by selecting a region. Selections that you make in a sheet are applied to all sheets in an app. You can remove selections if you no longer want them. You can use bookmarks to save your selections and make them available for all people that have access to this app. When you use a bookmark, all your current selections are removed and replaced with the selections in the bookmark. If you want to search data in your app to make a selection, such as for a specific product, you can use the Smart Search tool. When you select the product, the selection is applied to your app. You can also search for visualizations. When you select the visualization, you will be taken to the sheet containing the visualization. With your app complete, you can use your data to create your own story. With data storytelling, you can create a presentation based on the data in your app. You can take snapshots of selected visualizations. Take a snapshot of the sales per region pie chart. Then select the Nordic region and take a snapshot of the top 5 customers bar chart. Add an annotation so you will easily recognize this snapshot later. Take a snapshot of the quarterly trend line chart. Next, clear the selection, select the USA region, and then take snapshots of the same 2 charts. When you have finished, clear the selection and then repeat this process with the Japan region. Once you have finished taking snapshots, you can start creating your story. First, drag and drop a title into the slide and type 3 largest regions. Next, add the sales per region snapshot to the slide. In the effects library, select any value. In this case, the sales per region is set to USA. Then resize the pie chart. Copy the pie chart and paste the copy next to the first one. For the copy, change the selected value to Japan. Make another copy and then change the selected value to Nordic. Now you can create 3 different slides for the selected regions. Add a title to the slide and then add the snapshots that you took previously for that region. Repeat the process for the other regions. Once you've finished creating your story, you can play it. Navigate between slides with the left and right arrow keys. In data storytelling, you can switch at any time between the presentation to the sheet and visualization it originated from. In this way, you can always connect to your data source and make new selections to take your story in new directions. And that concludes this video. Thanks for watching.